Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'm going to talk about the costs and funding that are involved in the Enriched Support Program. So students coming into our program are paying a combination of tuition fees and workshop fees. So the total cost for a domestic student coming in the year 2020-2021 is approximately $6,400, just short of that. For international students, the costs are higher, about $21,000. And those fees apply to September all the way through to April, so it is for both terms. Those fees include things like associated student fees and levies, but they do not include things like books or housing costs. So those would be in addition to those tuition fees that you see there. There are ways that you can apply for support in funding and education with ESP. So ESP and IESP are OSAP eligible programs for Ontario residents. OSAP itself is a combination of grant and loan. So grant is money that you don't have to repay, as opposed to loan, which is money that you will have to repay. One of the nice things about borrowing through a program like OSAP is that OSAP loans are interest-free while you're studying, while you're a full-time student. So you don't have to begin repayment while you're a student and studying, and there's a bit of a grace period after you graduate before you have to begin repayment. There are other sorts of funding available to students coming in through our program. Some other provinces will fund the program, but not all provinces do. So it's really best to check in with our awards office to find out if you're coming from another province, whether or not your provincial government loan funding program will sponsor the program. So our awards office can be reached at awards@carleton.ca by email, or you can give them a call at 613-520-3600. Bank student lines of credit are another option for funding the program. So if OSAP or provincial loan payments aren't available to you, then you may want to look in and talk to your bank about a bank student line of credit. A bank student line of credit does work differently than a provincial loan program, so it's best to go and ask the questions. Typically what happens is that you're only paying the interest while you're studying, and you're not heading into repayment until after you've graduated. Finally, RESPs, so if your parents or other family members have set up a registered educational savings plan, most plans will recognize the program without any problem. There's also in-house funding available to students once they come in through the program. So students in ESP or IESP can apply for bursaries. Bursaries are money that you don't have to repay, so they're awards made based on your financial need. And they're something that you would apply for in the fall semester, and they're awarded in the winter term. Scholarships are also available to students in ESP, and what happens is that over the course of your ESP year, if you have strong grades and strong attendance, you can earn a scholarship towards your next year of study once you enter that degree program. And our scholarships range anywhere from $600 all the way up to the top scholarship of $3,000. So if you complete our program with that A- average, which is 80% at Carleton, and strong attendance, you will automatically receive a scholarship that's applied to your next year of study at Carleton. Most are in that range between $750 to $1,000. That's the majority of scholarships fall into that category. They're not a renewable scholarship, but the nice thing is that once you're studying at Carleton, for every year that you maintain an A- average and a full-time course load, and that average is always a cumulative one across all the courses that you've taken, you will automatically be considered for an in-house scholarship along the way. So there are lots of opportunities, even if you're coming in and you haven't had the strongest grades. We've seen so many of our students be successful and continue to earn scholarships throughout their studies. Our top scholarship, as I mentioned, is $3,000. So looking at all those costs, looking at the fact that you might need to take on debt and everything to think about coming to university, a lot of students do ask themselves, is this worth it? So I just wanted to share with you some recent statistics that maybe help counter some of the narratives about, study a degree in philosophy and you'll end up, working at McDonald's. That's typically not the case. So average employment rates for Ontario University graduates are quite strong. This is some statistics from UAC and OSAP and the Carleton graduation rates. So if you look at the average employment rates for Ontario University graduates between 2018 and 19, within 6 months, 89% are employed and somehow related to their field. And within 2 years, 95%. So the employment rates are really strong. Unemployment rates for university graduates are the lowest among every group, like college, high school, or university grad. And you can see there that employment by program is actually quite strong. I think a lot of people worry about, if I study something that is less practical, will I be employable? But you can see there that the rates are quite strong across all fields. And then finally, if you look at average employment income for graduates of Ontario post-secondary institutions, and this is average earnings for folks between 25 and 64, so it's, a wide group. You can see that the average earnings for that group is much higher than for high school groups, for college or other categories. So despite that investment that you have to make in university, it does tend to pay off. That hard work can get you there. So if you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're very happy to answer your questions. We can be reached at esp@carleton.ca or iesp@carleton.ca. Thanks for listening.